tuning in to another edition of High School Lowdown. For Ernest Boker, I'm Steve Wilson. Well, as many of you know, the Vicksburg Warren Central game, scheduled for Friday, better known as the River City Classic, was canceled due to MHSAA sanctions levied on Vicksburg in the wake of the brawl with Murrah last week. On VicksburgPost.com, we have a video of the news conference with Vicksburg Warren School District Superintendent Dr. Elizabeth Swinford and Coach DeVarce Johnson. Also, we have an edited version of the brawl footage. Porter's Chapel will be hosting Prentice Christian in what some would term a do or somewhat die game.
Right. I think PCA can still get into the playoffs by winning some tiebreakers, but it's much easier to figure out if they beat Prentice Christian. They would get in there certainly as a number 4 or number 3. The loss to Heidelberg a couple weeks ago really hurt them. They might have been in by now already if they had won that game. But similar situation what they've been in a couple times in the past couple of years. Win and you're in, lose and you're out. It's the last week of the regular season, but basically the start of the playoffs for them.
And the biggest news of note from PCA's season so far is the play of Peter Harris. He's had 3 straight 100-yard games, and I think he's got about 13 touchdowns from scrimmage, plus some kickoff returns and punt returns. He's a real playmaker for the Eagles.
Absolutely. Mediocre season on the whole for the Eagles, kind of up and down, but he has been a very bright spot for them. Everything guy has really emerged as a playmaker and really just a great all-around player, doing so many things for them. And all the rushing yards he's had, all the kick returns. I don't even think he's caught a pass in several weeks. And he had 9 catches early in the year, so he's really been their go-to guy.
Definitely a contender for our County Player of the Year for
Absolutely.
sure. St. Al is going to make the long trip down to Bogue Chitto. And Bogue Chitto, of course, is the top-ranked team in the latest AP prep football poll. How good are the Wildcats?
Very good. Beating everybody on their schedule, undefeated in a very good district, which has 3 or 4 ranked teams or close to it. And this game's kind of been sitting out there at the end of the year for St. Al. And, we try not to use the Halloween cliches, but week before Halloween, and this one's almost like a really nasty trick on St. Al sitting there at the end of the schedule.
Well, Bogue Chitto, the biggest thing that I can see with that, how do they compare with some of the teams they played before, like, for example, Madison St. Joe?
They're probably pretty comparable to Madison St. Joe. They like to run, I think, a little bit more than St. Joe does. St. Joe's a little more balanced. But they've really run, like I said, just run roughshod over a really good district. Beat Stringer last week or the week before, if I remember right. To really cement that district. So, St. Al really has their hands full this week for sure.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of High School Lowdown. For Ernest Boker, I'm Steve Wilson. Be sure to check out all the happenings at VicksburgPost.com. You can also go there on Friday night for scoring updates. And also check out our Twitter feed at Vicks Post Sports, and that's VIX Post Sports. Thanks, and have a